Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. Yeah, Abhishek, all is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Shubham. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Abhishek Chinchulkar again, your host. The agenda for today is application of multiple candlestick patterns. That is, candlestick patterns that have at least three candles. This is the third webinar of our candlestick webinar series. This is the second last. Next week, we'll have the final webinar wherein we will show you how to combine candlestick patterns with other tools such as technical indicators, trend lines, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, and stuff like that. So, without any further ado, let us get started. Uh, in the first webinar, we discussed about the application of single candlestick patterns. The patterns that we covered a couple of weeks back included hammer and hanging man line, inverted hammer and shooting star, bullish and bearish belt hold line, bullish and bearish Marubozu, doji, and spinning top. Then in the previous week, we talked about the application of dual candlestick patterns, which included piercing line and dark cloud cover, bullish and bearish engulfing, bullish and bearish harami, bullish and bearish counter attack line, and bullish and bearish separating line. Today, we will talk about candlestick patterns that comprises of at least three candles. In some cases, this could stretch to five or even more candles. So the candlestick patterns that we will be discussing today include morning and evening star and the three variants of morning and evening star, up and down gapping Tasuki, high and low price gapping plays, three black rows and three white soldiers, and rising and falling methods. So let us get started with the first pattern that we want to discuss today, which is a very popular pattern known as morning and evening star. So let us start with morning star first. As you can see on the image that is on the left, Morning star is a bullish reversal pattern that appears near the end of a downtrend. The, it comprises of three candlestick patterns as you can see in the image. The first of the three candlestick is a tall red candle, which indicates that the downtrend is pretty much intact and sellers continue to dominate the markets. The second candle has a body that is usually below the body of the first candle, and the body of the second candle is relatively small. So if you compare the first candle and the second candle, you will see that the body of the second candle resembles a star. Preferably, the color of the second candle is green or blue, that is bullish. By the completion of the second candle, what it tells you is that the power of the sellers is possibly weakening because of the emergence, because of the structure of the second candle. So the second candle puts you on an alert mode that the downtrend is possibly weakening, but you need to wait for more evidence to see how the price action unfolds. Then the third candle of this pattern is a tall bullish candle, as you can see, that opens somewhere above the low of the second candle, ideally somewhere within the body of the second candle, and then closes sharply higher, preferably above the midpoint of the first candle. So by the time the third candle completes, it tells you that the balance of power has shifted from a seller driven market to a buyer driven market. So it indicates that buyers have started to outmuscle the sellers. Going forward, if the high of the third candle breaks, it tells you that the trend has successfully shifted from down to up and informs you that you should ideally be buying above the high of the third candle by placing a stop loss below the low of the second candle. So that is how a morning star candle is structured. The opposite of the morning star is the evening star. Evening star is a bearish reversal pattern, as you can see. Before the pattern starts, the trend of the underlying is up. The first of the three candles is a tall bullish candle, suggesting that the buyers continue to dominate the market and the buying power remains very strong. The second candle is a small bodied candle, preferably red in color. So if you compare the first candle with the second candle resembles a star pattern because the body of the second candle is small and it is above the body of the first candle. So by the time the second candle completes, it tells you that the uptrend is possibly starting to weaken. Then the emergence of the third candle completes this pattern. The third candle is a tall bearish candle which opens below the high of the second candle, preferably somewhere within the range of the real body of the second candle, then falls sharply to close below the midpoint of the first candle. So as you can see, this is the midpoint of the first candle. The third candle closes somewhere below that. Once the third candle is complete, that completes the evening star pattern. Going forward, if the low of the third candle breaks, it tells you to sell by placing a stop loss above the high of the second candle. So morning and evening star are one of the most popular patterns, and they also happen to be one of the strongest patterns because whenever they appear, especially after a sustained uptrend or downtrend, they tend to work out pretty well. So you'll commonly see morning and evening star appearing near the culmination of the prevailing trend, and whenever that happens, you will see that these patterns tend to work out very well. A few things to note are the color of the second candle, as I said, is not important, but preferably in case of a morning star, preferably the second candle should be bullish, while in case of evening star, the second candle should be bearish. Again, that is a preference, not a rule. And the deeper the third candle penetrates into the first candle, the stronger is the pattern. So in case of morning star, the deeper the third candle penetrates above the midpoint of the first candle, the stronger is the morning star pattern. Whereas in case of evening star, the deeper the third candle penetrates below the midpoint of the first candle, the stronger is the evening star pattern. Now there are three variants of morning star and evening star, although these tend to be relatively rare. The first is morning and evening doji star. The only difference between morning star and morning doji star is that in case of a morning doji star, the second candle is a doji. So the open and the close of the second candle is essentially the same. And the body of the second candle, which is the horizontal line, is below the body of the first as well as the third candle. So that's the morning doji star. Evening doji star is the opposite of that. The second candle is a doji whose body is above the body of the first candle as well as above the body of the third candle. The next variant of morning and evening star is something that's known as abandoned baby bottom and abandoned baby top. This is very similar to the morning and evening doji star. The only difference is that the second candle is a gap down candle. So as you can see, there is a gap between the low of the first candle and the high of the second candle, as well as between the high of the second candle and the low of the third candle. So this gap is what separates a morning doji star from an abandoned baby bottom. The opposite of abandoned baby bottom is called abandoned baby top. It's a bearish reversal pattern. The second candle, as you can see, is a doji, and the high and the low of the second candle is above the high of first candle as well as above the high of the third candle. So there is a gap between the first and second candle, and again between the second and third candle. Abandoned baby bottom and top are very rare patterns, so you'll seldom see these patterns forming. Then an even rarer pattern is something that's called tri-star bottom and tri-star top. In this, all the three candles are doji. The first candle is a doji, the second candle is a doji, and so is the third. This is an even rarer pattern. Also, as a rule, the bodies must not overlap. That is, the body of the second candle must be below the body of the first candle as well as below the body of the third candle. The opposite of tri-star bottom is something that's called tri-star top. Again, it's a bearish reversal pattern comprising of three dojis. The body of the second doji must be above the body of the first doji as well as above the body of the third doji. Again, these three patterns are relatively rare, especially the abandoned BB bottom and top and the tri-star bottom and top. Morning and evening doji star do occasionally appear, but they are not as common as morning and evening star. So let us now look at some live examples of these patterns. Now this is the weekly chart of Infratel. Here you can see a very nice evening star pattern formed right at the top of the uptrend. The first candle is a tall bullish candle. The second candle resembles a spinning top kind of pattern whose body is above the body of the first candle. Then the third candle opens in the vicinity of the second candle, but then closes sharply below the midpoint of the first candle. So as you can see, once the low of the third candle broke, that was an indication to sell by keeping a stop loss above the high of the second candle. And as we can see, the price of the security in question fell sharply in the next several weeks. Remember, this is the weekly chart. So this appeared right at the end of the uptrend, and that was a trend changer. So going forward in the next couple of years, the stock price never broke above the high of the second candle. Then this is the daily chart of Amara Batteries. Right at the bottom, you can see a morning doji star form. The first is a red candle. The second is very close to a doji. As you can see, the open and the closing price of the second candle is more or less the same. And the third candle is a nice bullish candle that closed right near the opening of the first candle. As I said, the more the third candle penetrates into the first candle, the stronger is the pattern. Again, this appeared near the end of the downtrend, and going forward, the trend of Amara Batteries turned from down to up. As you can see, the low of the morning doji star was never broken. Now here, if you can see, the lowest point of this pattern is occurring in the case of first candle. That is usually relatively rare because the lowest point of the morning star is usually the second candle. But an interesting thing to note over here is, despite the rule being slightly broken, other characteristics were very strong. The downtrend, this pattern appeared right near the end of the downtrend. As you can see, there was a pickup in volume when the morning star pattern was forming. So when the third candle completed, there was a notable pickup in volume. So that's another positive sign. The third positive sign is that if you look at the third candle, the open and low are the same. So that's a very strong signal. Whenever open and low tend to be same for a particular day, it indicates that the buying for that day is very strong. And as you can see, the closing price of the third candle was very close to the high for that day. Also, the third candle resembles the bullish belt hold line that we spoke in our dual candlesticks webinar. So all these factors considered suggested you that going forward, we could see a nice reversal in trend from down to up, and that is what happened in case of this stock. Then this is the hourly chart of Axis Bank. Now there are two patterns, evening star and morning doji star. As you can see, the evening star is appearing right near the end of this uptrend. Post that, as you can see, the high of the second candle of the evening star was never broken, and there was a nice downtrend that ensued. Coincidentally, that downtrend ended with the emergence of morning doji star. So that appearance of morning doji star marked the end of that downtrend and the beginning of an uptrend. So as you can see, once this morning doji star completed, there was a nice rally in the price of Axis Bank. And again, remember, this is the hourly chart. Then lastly, this is the 15-minute chart of Bajaj Auto. Right at the top, if you can see, there is an evening star pattern that formed. The first is a tall bullish candle. The second is a bullish candle, which is not ideal, but still it qualifies for the evening star pattern, because the body of the second candle is above the body of the first candle. And again, the third candle opened in the vicinity of the second candle. It opened near the closing price of the second candle, and then it fell sharply during the day. Again, interesting thing to note over here is that the opening price and the high price of the third candle is the same. And again, as I said earlier, this, whenever open and high tends to be same, it indicates that there is very strong selling pressure for that particular candle. So as we can see, going forward, there was a nice decline in the price of this particular stock, that is Bajaj Auto. So now we'll talk about the next pattern that we want to discuss. This pattern is known as the upside Tesuki gap and the downside Tesuki gap. This is a relatively very rare pattern, but it's worth talking about. Let's start with the upside Tesuki gap. As you can see, this is a bullish continuation pattern, because prior to the time this pattern started forming, the trend was up. And once this pattern ended, the security usually continues to rally. So the first of the three candles in an upside Tesuki gap is a bullish candle, is a nice bullish candle, which tells you that buyers continue to remain the dominant force as until the completion of the first candle. Now the second candle gaps up above the first candle, and it is another bullish candle. So as you can see over here, I've marked it using horizontal lines. There is a gap between the high of the first candle and the low of the second candle. So this region indicates that there is a gap between the first and the second candle. Now the third candle is a small bearish candle, which opens below the close of the second candle. As you can see, this is the close of the second candle, and this is the opening of the third candle. And then the third candle falls slightly to close below the open of the second candle. Again, I'll repeat, the second candle opens below the close of the third candle opens below the close of the second candle, and then goes on to close below the open of the second candle. That gap may or may not be filled by the time the third candle is completed, but ideally that gap should exist. So there, as you can see, there is a small gap that is still in prevalence between the first candle's high and the third candle's low. Now, how to trade this pattern is that once price breaks above the high of the third candle, it tells you to buy. However, you cannot pre-place a stop loss in case of this pattern. So what you should do is, once you buy following the break above the high of the third candle, in case the pattern does not work out as expected, you should wait to see whether the gap is getting filled. So going forward, for instance, if the price does not continue going up once you buy and starts heading lower, if this gap gets filled and if the selling pressure is prevalent, then you should exit your trade. So you should wait for price to sustain below this gap. In case the pattern does not work out as expected and price starts falling, and if this gap is filled, then you should exit the trade. So I'll again repeat, an up gap Tesuki is a bullish continuation pattern. The first of the three candles is a tall bullish candle, which tells you that the uptrend is very strong. The second candle is another bullish candle, but there is a gap between the high of the first candle and the low of the second candle. The third candle is a small bearish candle that opens below the close of the second candle and then goes on to close below the open of the second candle. That gap between the first and the third candle may or may not be filled, but ideally it shouldn't be filled. Going forward, if the high of the third candle breaks, it is a buy signal. In case the pattern does not work out as expected, then you should wait to see if this gap is filled. If this gap is eventually filled, and if price does not show any signs of rally, then you should exit your trade. In that case, it would suggest that this pattern is failed. But once this pattern is complete, it is usually followed by a nice rally in price, as long as the gap is not filled. The opposite of up gap Tesuki is down gap Tesuki. The first down gap Tesuki is a bearish continuation pattern. As you can see, the prevailing trend is down. The first of the three candle is a tall bearish candle, indicating that the downtrend is very much healthy and strong. Then there is a gap down red candle, which is the second candle. Uh, there is a gap, as you can see, between the low of the first candle and the high of the second candle. Uh, both the candles should be same color, that is, both the candles should be red. The third candle is a small bullish candle which opens slightly above the close of the second candle and then goes on to close slightly above the open of the second candle. The gap that formed between the first and the second candle is not completely filled in the third candle. In some cases, it does get filled, but in most of the cases, it is not filled. Going forward, if the low of the third candle breaks, then you should place a sell. For target, you need to look at other indicators because Japanese candlesticks don't forecast what the target is. But you can place a stop loss. You can't, of course, pre-place a stop loss because you need to monitor how price behaves in case the downtrend does not materialize and price starts going higher. In case that happens, if the gap gets filled and if price is showing no signs of coming down, then you should exit your short trade because it indicates that the pattern has failed. So how do you trade the down gap Tesuki is that you sell below the low of the third candle and you place and you determine target based on other parameters. In case the pattern does not work out as expected, then you'll exit your trade in case this gap is filled and price does not show signs of coming below this gap. So in that case, you exit your trade. Now again, a few key things to note about this pattern is that the Tesuki gaps are extremely rare patterns, so you need to be very flexible in your approach. Don't outrightly reject this pattern if a particular rule that we have discussed now is broken by a small margin. Because these patterns tend to be very rare, you need to be very flexible in your approach. You need to look at other parameters as well, such as what volume is telling you, what technical indicators are telling you, and stuff like that. We'll talk more about that in our next week's webinar. So this is the example of downward gapping Tesuki. This particular region over here. Now the first candle, as you can see, is a red candle that is in the direction of the prevailing trend, which is down. Then there is a small gap that formed between the first and the second candle. Over the next two candles, you have small bullish candles forming, and the second of that bullish candle closed near the high of the second candle. The final candle of this pattern opened slightly lower, and as I said earlier, if you closely see over here, the opening price and the high for that day is the same. So that's a very strong indication. So that was an indication for you to sell because the open and the high are the same, and the gap, which is a very minor gap, that was not filled. So going forward, as we can see, there was a nice down move in the price of Hindalco. Again, as I said earlier, these patterns are relatively very rare, so you need to be flexible. Here, as you can see, there were two small bullish candles that formed, but that can be acceptable because, as you can see, there was an uptick in volume on down day. So whenever the price was falling, there was a nice uptick in volume. So that indicated that the selling pressure is very strong, and this minor 2-day consolidation that we saw is unlikely to sustain for long. So going forward, as you can see, there was a nice decline in the price of Hindalco. The next pattern that we will be discussing is something that's called gapping plays. Again, there are two types: high price gapping play and low price gapping play. This is slightly similar to gapping Tesukis that we talked about previously, but there are differences. Let's start with high price gapping play. High price gapping play is a bullish continuation pattern that occurs somewhere once the uptrend is underway. The first candle is a tall bullish candle, suggesting to you that the uptrend is very much intact. Now, this strong bullish first candle is followed by two, three, or maybe even four consolidation type candles in which the price essentially trades in a narrow range. So, as you can see, if you compare these three candles with the first candle, the size of the second, third, and fourth candle is very small as compared to the first candle, and they're uneven, meaning the second candle is bullish, whereas the first and the third candle are bearish. So it indicates that following this strong rally, price is taking a minor pause. So the bulls are resting for the time being. Then the final candle of this pattern is one which gaps up above the high of these consolidation candles. So as you can see, there is a gap between the high of each of these consolidation candles and the low of the final candle. So this final candle which forms tells you that the uptrend has again resumed after a minor 3-day consolidation, 3 or 4 day consolidation, and that uptrend should continue going forward. So again repeating, the first candle of this pattern is a tall bullish candle indicating that the uptrend is very much healthy. This is then followed by 2, 3, 4, or 5 minor consolidation pattern in which the price essentially consolidates within a very tight range and tells you that the bulls are possibly uh, relaxing after strong rally over the past few days. Then on the final day, there is a gap up candle that forms, and the low of that candle the low of that candle is above the high of the consolidation candle. So when do you buy this? When the gap up candle appears. So you don't need to wait for this entire candle to close. Instead, what you do is on one particular day when the stock or the security in question opens with a gap up, you buy at that point. And how do you place your stop? Again, you need to monitor how the price behaves in the next few hours. If the gap that formed between this consolidation candle and this bullish candle, if that gap gets filled and if price continues going lower, then you exit your trade. But as long as that gap is not filled, you hold on to your long position. And again, for targets, you need to look at other tools. So that is how a high price gapping play is traded. The opposite of this is the low price gapping play, which is a bearish continuation pattern. The first candle of this pattern is a tall bearish candle that appears in a downtrend. By the time this candle completes, it tells you that the downtrend is pretty much intact. Then in the next few candles, which could vary from 2, 3, 4, or even 5, there is consolidation in this downtrend. So following strong downtrend, prices starts to consolidate, indicating that the sellers are possibly taking a pause. The final candle of this pattern is a bullish candle that gaps down below the low of these consolidation candles. So whenever you see a candle that gaps down below the low of the consolidation candle, it is the point to sell. So this candle, as you can see, opened somewhere over here. So that is the point to sell, and you hold on to your short position as long as this gap does not get filled. Again, you need to see whether price sustains above this gap. In case the gap gets filled and price sustains above this gap, then that is the time to exit your trade, because it tells you that the pattern has possibly failed. But as long as the gap does not get filled, you hold on to your short position. Again, just like the upside gap Tsuki and the downside gap Tsuki, the high price and the low price gapping plays are relatively rare patterns because of the gaps. Hence, you need to be very flexible in your approach when it comes to identifying these patterns. Even if a particular rule is broken by a small margin, you can accept these patterns, especially if other indications such as volume, or say technical indicators, moving averages are telling you that the selling pressure will continue. So you have to look at other parameters as well. This is the daily chart of HDFC Limited. Now the price had, after topping out over here, the price had started to correct lower. Then there was a nice bearish candle that formed within this initial downtrend. That bearish candle was then accompanied by three small consolidation candles. So as you can see, this bearish candle was accompanied by three dojis, because the opening price and the closing price of each of these candles is essentially the same. Then the final candle of this pattern gapped down, as you can see. More importantly, the opening price and the high of the final candle is the same. So that tells you that you should be selling following the opening of this candle, and your stop loss should be somewhere above the high of this point. Once the gap gets filled and the price continues going higher, then you should exit your trade. Otherwise, as long as that gap does not get filled, you should hold on to your short position. So let us say once you initiated your short over here, there was a decline in price that day. As you can see, there was a very strong uptick in volume as well. So that possibly tells you that we could see lower prices going forward. On the next day, it was a bit of tussle between bulls and bears because of the relatively long upper and lower shadow that the next candle had. But what is important to see is that price never managed to sustain above the gap that was formed. It never managed to sustain above that over the next 4 sessions, and then the stock started falling very precipitously. You can also see the volumes were picking up during the downtrend. So that tells you that the selling pressure was mounting. Either which ways, this pattern, which is the low price gapping play, worked very well in case of HDFC Limited. Going forward, you could also see an evening star pattern that formed over here. So there was a brief recovery from low, then the evening star formed, and that marked the end of this minor recovery, and the price fell again. So that's it about gapping Tesukis and high price, low price gapping plays. These are relatively rare patterns. So most important thing is, whenever you spot patterns, you need to be very flexible with the gapping Tesuki and the high price, low price gapping plays. The second last pattern that we would be talking about is something that is quite common: 3 white soldiers and 3 black crows. So let's start with 3 white soldiers. Most of the times, 3 white soldiers appears as a bullish reversal pattern, but sometimes it can appear during an uptrend as well, in which case it happens to be a bullish continuation pattern. But let us talk about 3 white soldiers over here, assuming that it's a bullish reversal pattern appearing near the end of the downtrend. So as you can see, the prevailing trend is down. The first of the 3 candle is a very healthy bullish candle with a tall green or blue colored body, indicating that the selling pressure is starting to recede. The second candle opens somewhere within the range of the first candle and then closes above the high of the first candle. The second candle, just like the first, should have a tall real body with closing near the high for that particular candle. Finally, the third candle is another tall bullish candle that opens somewhere above the low of the second candle and then goes on to close above the high of the second candle. The third candle again should close near the high for that particular candle. So once these 3 candles are formed, it tells you that the downtrend has successfully reversed from down to up. Going forward, if the high of the third candle breaks, it tells you to buy. Now, what should be the stop loss for 3 white soldiers? That's again extremely subjective. Some people who have higher risk tolerance tend to place stop loss below the low of the first candle, but oftentimes what happens is that that stop loss tends to be very far. So if your risk tolerance ability is relatively less, then what you can do is you can place stop loss that is a partial retracement of these three entire candles, right from the low of the first candle till the high of the third candle. So you could maybe draw a Fibonacci retracement from the low of the first candle till the high of the third candle and keep a stop loss somewhere between 50 to 61.8% of this entire rally. So that will be a relatively conservative stop loss. So 61.8% of this rally ideally should come somewhere over here. So that should be the ideal stop loss for this pattern. Again, let me repeat three white soldiers. In this case, we will talk about three white soldiers as a bullish reversal pattern. The first candle appears following a nice decline in price. The first candle is a tall bullish candle, which tells you that the downtrend is most possibly weakening. Uh, Again, the shadow of the first candle should be relatively small and the body should comprise a bulk of the first candle. The second candle should open above the low of the first candle and then proceed to close above the high of the first candle. Also, second candle, as you can see over here, should close somewhere near the high of the second candle. Finally, the third candle should open above the low of the second candle and go on to close above the high of the second candle. So you have three progressive long bullish candles, each of which are opening below the prior session, each of which are opening above the prior session low and then going on to close above the prior session high. Also, the closing of each candle should be near their respective candle high because that tells you that the buying pressure was sustained throughout each of these three candles. So if such a setup occurs, then it tells you that this pattern is quite powerful. Again, as I said, one of the biggest drawbacks of trading this pattern is that by the time the third candle is complete, a lot of moves already underway. So you could miss out a substantial portion of the move. The stop loss, as I told you, if you have higher risk tolerance, then you can place your stop loss below the low of the first candle. If not, you can calculate the Fibonacci retracement of this entire rally and keep a stop loss somewhere between 50 to 61.8% of this entire rally. So that essentially comes somewhere over here, which is usually below the low of the third candle. The opposite of three white soldiers is three black crows. In this case, I've shown three black crows as a bearish reversal pattern, but sometimes it can appear as a bearish continuation pattern as well. Now, the first of the three candle is a tall red bodied candle, meaning the opening is well above the closing price of the first candle. So it's a tall bearish candle. The second candle opens below the high of the first candle. So as you can see, the second candle opens somewhere over here and then goes on to close below the low of the first candle. Also, the closing price of the second candle should be near the low of that candle. Finally, the third candle opens below the high of the second candle and then goes on to close below the low of the second candle. Also, the closing of the third candle should be near that candle's low. Once the low of the third candle breaks, it tells you to sell by keeping a stop loss either above the high of the first candle or calculating Fibonacci retracement of this entire decline and then seeing where the 50 and 61.8% retracement of this decline lies. In case the pattern does not work out as expected and price starts rallying, then a trader who is conservative could exit once price breaks the 61.8% retracement. An aggressive trader who can tolerate higher risk can wait for the high of the entire pattern to break. Again, this is not one of my favorite patterns to trade simply because a lot of move has already happened. But sometimes there are other indications that tell you that the trend has possibly reversed. So in that case, this pattern is worth acting upon. So whenever you intend to trade three white soldiers or three black crows, ensure that you look at other parameters as well, such as technical indicators, volume, open interest, if applicable. moving averages and stuff like that. Don't act on three white soldiers and three black crows in isolation. So always get into the habit of combining it with other technical indicators and patterns. So we'll talk more about this in our next week's webinar. Now here is the chart of Balkrishna Industries. The entire stock was in a downtrend. Initially, for the first one third of the chart, as you can see, the trend was up, but then it turned down. At the extreme left of the chart, you can see a three black crows forming over here. As you can see, each of the candle had an opening that is below the high of the previous candle, and then each of the candle had a close that is below the low of the previous candle as well as near the sessions low. So it technically qualified for a three black crow candlestick. Unfortunately, as you can see, once this pattern completed, the low of the third candle was broken. So you would have sold following the break of the low of the third candle. But as you can see, price started rallying going forward. So a conservative trader, if he had calculated Fibonacci retracement of this fall, he would have exited somewhere over here. Whereas a trader who had higher risk taking ability, he would have placed the stop loss above the high of the three black crows pattern. Either which means this pattern failed and price went higher. The essence of showing this is that candlestick patterns do and will fail. So the most important thing to keep in mind is risk management. So if a particular candlestick pattern does not work out as expected, which you'll frequently encounter, then in that case, you should have a stop loss in place and you should know where to exit from that trade. Then there was another three black crows that emerged over here, but this time, as you can see, it worked out very well. So once the low of the third candle broke, it was followed by a nice decline in the price of this stock. Then another three black crows emerged over here. Now, as you can see, the middle three black crow was in the form of a bearish reversal pattern, whereas this is taking the shape of a bearish continuation pattern because it is appearing in the middle of this downtrend. Nonetheless, this pattern worked like a charm. So once the low of the third candle was broken, going forward, there was a brief consolidation in price for the next several days, but then that downtrend resumed again. As you can see, the high of the third candle was never broken. What is interesting to note in case of the middle and the latter three black crows is that there was a very marked uptick in volume. So if these three candles are followed by a significant uptick in volume, then it indicates that this pattern could work out very well. So these two patterns were worth acting upon. Look at how huge the volume was in this particular case. In the case of the third three black crows, the third candle was accompanied by a significant uptick in volume. So it indicated that the selling pressure was very strong. Then this is the chart of Adani Enterprises. Over here, I've shown you three white soldiers, which in this case was a bullish reversal pattern. There's a minor downtrend. Then this pattern started forming, that is three white soldiers. As you can see, each candle opened above the low of the previous candle and then went on to close above the high of the previous candle. Also, if you see, except for the first candle, the closing price of the second and third candle are near their sessions high. So it indicates that the buyer's strength for these three particular days is very strong. Also, if you see below, each of these three candles was accompanied by abnormally high volume. So if you look at the previous instance, the volume was this much, but for these three particular days, there was significant uptick in volume. So these two combined, the emergence of three white crows and each candle being accompanied by very strong volume, indicated that this downtrend is possibly ended and we are likely to see higher prices going forward, which is what happened. Then the final candlestick pattern that I would like to discuss today is a rising and falling method. Again, this pattern is relatively rare, but it tends to appear occasionally. especially on the daily time frame chart. Now, this is a continuation pattern. A rising method is a bullish continuation pattern that appears during an uptrend. Now, the first candle of this pattern is a tall bullish candle, indicating that buyers are very much intact and the uptrend is very much healthy. This bullish candle is then accompanied by anywhere between 2 to 5 or even 6 small bodied candle, as you can see over here. In this case, I've just shown 3, but it can stretch to 5 or even 6. What is interesting to see is that the body of each of these small candles should be within the range of the body of the first candle. So the first candle is a very long body, and then it's followed by minor consolidation. The body of these consolidation candles should be within the range of the body of the first candle. Now that's an important rule. This pattern completes when on one particular day there is an opening that is above the low of the red candle, that is the final consolidation candle, and then a very strong rally. So the final candle of this pattern is such that it opens above the low of its previous candle and then goes on to rally sharply and close above the high of the first bullish candle. So what this tells you is that the prevailing trend was up, a very bullish candle formed, indicating that buyers are still very much strong. This bullish candle was then accompanied by anywhere between 2 to 6 small bodied consolidation candles, each of whose real body was contained within the range of the real body of the first candle. And then finally, you had a tall bullish candle emerging again, which went above to close beyond the high of the first candle. So by the time the final candle of the rising method completes, it tells you that the uptrend has resumed again. So uptrend followed by consolidation and resumption of uptrend again. How do you trade a rising method is, once the high of the final bullish candle is broken, you place a buy order and you keep a stop loss below the low of the first candle, which is this. So as long as the low of the first candle is not broken, the uptrend should continue. Now the opposite of this is something that is called falling methods. Falling methods is a bearish continuation pattern which appears during a downtrend. The first of the several candles of this pattern is a tall bearish candle which has a tall bearish body. It tells you that the selling pressure is very strong as at the time of the completion of the first candle. This is then accompanied by anywhere between 2 to 6 consolidation candles, each of whose real body must be within the range of the real body of the first candle. The final candle of this pattern is such that it opens below the high of the previous candle, and then there is very strong selling pressure which comes during that particular candle, because of which the closing price of that candle is below the low of the first candle. So the emergence of the final candle tells you that the consolidation, the 2 to 6 session consolidation has ended and price should again continue trending lower. You would trade this pattern by placing a stop loss below the low of the final candle, by placing a sell below the low of the final candle and keeping a stop loss above the high of the first candle. So once this pattern completes, you sell if the low of the final candle is broken, and when you sell, you keep a stop loss for that trade above the high of the first candle. So as long as that high does not break, you can hold on to your short position. Again, a few important things to note about this particular pattern is that it is relatively rare, so you need to be flexible in your approach again. Now, the color of these consolidation candles is not important, but ideally, in case of rising methods, these consolidation patterns should be preferably red, whereas in case of falling methods pattern, these consolidation patterns should be preferably green or blue. Again, that is not a rule, but a preference. So let's look at how rising and falling methods look like in the real world. So this is the chart of Bajaj Finance. Price was in a minor uptrend. The first, then a rising method started forming. The first candle was a tall bullish candle, which took the shape of a bullish belt hold line as well. Then this tall bullish candle was accompanied by consolidation candles over the next 3 days, during which the body of each of these candles from day 2, day 3 to day 4 were contained within the range of the body of the first candle. And on the final day, you have an opening that is above the low of the previous candle and a closing that is above the high of the first candle. So this completed the rising wedge pattern, rising methods pattern. Interesting thing to note over here is how volume behaved. Initially, as you can see, there was decline in volume before the rising methods pattern started forming, but during the formation of the rising methods, you can see volume started increasing, and on the final bullish candle, there was a very decent pickup in volume. So that tells you that this could work going forward. So how you trade this pattern is you would buy on the following day once the high of the final candle is broken. So you would buy above that and keep a stop loss below the low of the first candle, which is this. So this will be your stop loss for this particular trade. Then this is the chart of Cummins India. As you can see, the stock price was in a downtrend. The first of the several candles was a tall bearish candle, indicating that the selling is strong. This bearish candle was then accompanied by, if you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there were 6 small bodied consolidatory candles, each of which was contained within the range of the real body of the first candle. Then the final candle of this pattern was a tall bearish candle, which opened below the high of this consolidation candle and then went on to close below the low of the first candle. So this was the low of the first candle. As you can see, the closing of the final candle was below that. And more importantly, if you look at below, there was a nice uptick in volume, especially on down days. So whenever price ended lower, the volume was substantial as compared to volume during up days. Also, if you see, the volume on the emergence of this final candle was very sharp. So that told you that the selling pressure is very strong and the prevailing downtrend should continue. And as you can see, going forward, there is a nice correction in the price of this particular stock. So now we'll combine the single, dual, and multiple candlestick patterns that we have spoken in each of the previous 3 webinars, including today's webinar. So you can look at each of these 3 charts to get a feel of how candlestick patterns emerge in real-time environment. This is the daily chart of Nifty. There were 11 important patterns that appeared. Similarly, I've shown for the weekly time frame chart of Nifty as well as for the monthly time frame chart of Nifty. You can look at this later on at your ease. So with that, let us talk about the important characteristics of the patterns that we have discussed today. Mornings of all the patterns that we have studied, my favorite pattern is morning and evening stars, for which I've given a rating of 9 out of 10. Whenever morning and evening star appears after a prolonged rally or after a prolonged decline, it is usually followed by a swift reversal going forward. These patterns tend to work out very well in most of the cases. We have already talked about how to enter and exit the morning and evening star. In case of morning star, you buy above the high of the third candle and place a stop loss below the low of the second candle. Whereas in case of evening star, you sell below the low of the third candle and you keep a stop loss above the high of the second candle. Then we talked about the upward gapping Tesuki and the downward gapping Tesuki, which were bullish and bearish continuation patterns respectively. These are relatively rare patterns. You will see them forming very rarely. But whenever they do tend to appear, they are relatively safer patterns to act upon. One of the biggest advantage of trading up and down gap Tesuki is that the stop loss tends to be very small. So whenever you spot this pattern, you should ideally trade it because the risk to reward is very much in your favor. Similar to the upward and downward gapping Tesuki is the high price and low price gapping play. Again, high price gapping play is a bullish continuation pattern, whereas low price gapping play is a bearish continuation pattern. Again, these are very rare patterns, that is, they don't tend to appear so frequently, but whenever they do appear, they tend to work out very well. The biggest advantage of acting on high price and low price gapping play is that the stop losses tend to be relatively small, so the risk to reward ratio is very much in your favor. I've already talked about how to trade each of these patterns, right from up gap Tesuki till low price gapping play. An important thing to keep in mind is that for each of these four patterns, you cannot pre-place a stop loss. So you need to see how price behaves going forward. If the gap is filled, you need to then decide whether I should exit the trade or not. But keep in mind that don't pre-place a stop loss for each of these four patterns. Over here, subjectivity comes very much into play. Then we talked about the three white soldiers and three black crows. As I said, they can appear either as reversal patterns or as continuation patterns, but they tend to work out very well when they appear as reversal. But because by the time these patterns complete, a significant portion of move is already underway, you need to look at other parameters as well, such as volume and stuff like that, and then take a decision accordingly. I would again give it the lowest rating because this is not one of my favorite patterns to trade. I would only trade it if my other indicators are suggesting that this pattern could work out very well. Otherwise, in isolation, I would refrain from trading the three white soldiers and the three black crows because the risk to reward is not in your favor in this case. Then finally, we talked about the rising and falling methods, which are continuation patterns. They don't appear so frequently, uh, but whenever they do appear, they are pretty much reliable. So I've given a rating of 7.5 for each of these patterns. And I've already discussed about when to enter and how to exit the rising and falling methods. Again, trading suggestions. The most important suggestion that I would like to give is that wait for the candlestick patterns to complete. Don't preempt and act before a candle pattern is complete. So you always need to wait for a candlestick pattern to complete. Keep a close watch on other indicators as well, especially on volume. We will talk more about how to use Japanese candlestick patterns with other indicators, including volume, in the next webinar next week. Then I've already talked about how to trade multiple candlestick patterns in terms of where you should enter and where you should exit. So I won't be reiterating it again. Finally, the most important of all, whenever you trade a candlestick pattern, always have a stop loss in place, either a pre-built stop loss in your system or a stop loss in your mind for patterns such as gapping Tesukis and gapping plays. Finally, don't try to trade every candlestick pattern. Always combine it with other tools, which we will be talking about in the next webinar. Act on the candlestick pattern only if it is very convincing and tells you that that pattern could work out pretty well. That's it from my end. Uh, with that, I would take a few questions now. Again, I'm available on each of Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, and Facebook. So in case I'm not able to address every query, you could get in touch with me on my social media handles. So with that, I'll take a few questions now. What is the time frame to be considered? Candlesticks are applicable across all time frames, right from the very short time frames such as 5 minute chart, 10-minute chart, etc., to the longer time frames such as hourly charts, daily charts, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or for that matter, even yearly, although it's very rare to use candlesticks in yearly. But restrict your time frame to anywhere between 5 minute chart to quarterly chart. My favorite time frame for candlestick patterns is daily. I prefer trading on daily, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work on other time frames. It works very well on intraday as well as on time frames beyond daily, such as weekly and monthly. Mm, Again, how to scan such patterns? You need to keep a track of charts very frequently. Once you start scanning charts very frequently, you'll get used to spotting candlestick patterns. So, as in once you learn Japanese candlestick patterns, be it single candlestick patterns or two candlestick patterns or more than two candlestick patterns, once you learn them and once you start looking at charts very frequently, you will be able to spot candlestick patterns with relatively ease. So it all boils down to your experience and to your understanding of candlestick patterns. Again, there are a lot of questions about the PDF and the recording. Again, the recording would be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So in case you want to refer back, you could do so by visiting our YouTube channel. Mm, For intraday, what is the time frame you suggest? For intraday, the time frames that I look at include 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and hourly. So these three are my combo. For identifying what the trend is, I look at hourly, and for entry and exit signals, I look at half hourly and 10-minute time frame. Give results on intraday. Yes, if you look at 5 minute chart, you will spot various Japanese candlestick patterns. So yeah, so these patterns do tend to give results on intraday. So the lower the time frame, the lower will be the target and the stop losses. Do these patterns hold better on long time frame charts than say daily? Yes, they tend to work out very well on weekly charts as well, and to some extent even on monthly charts. Also, if you're looking at monthly charts, then you need to refer to other tools as well, be it technicals or anything other than technicals. Rising and falling methods. If you guys are aware of Western technicals, then in Western technicals we have something that's called pennant and flag. So they are somewhat similar. Rising and falling methods are somewhat similar to pennants and flags. Is MACD a good indicator? Yes, it's a very good indicator. We will keep a session on several technical indicators one at a time. So we'll talk about MACD then. But MACD is a very good indicator. How to scan such pattern? Again, you need to understand each of these patterns very well, and then you need to keep looking at the charts. Uh, the more you get used to in terms of looking at chart, the more easily will you be able to scan any candlestick patterns, be it a single candlestick pattern or complex patterns such as a gapping Tesuki or a gapping play. Heikinashi can also be same. Well, the structure of Heikinashi is very similar to candlesticks, but Heikinashi is not the same as candlesticks. It's calculated using separate formulas. So the open, high, low, and close for each Heikinashi bar is different. We'll take a session on Heikinashi. So I'll be speaking on Heikinashi when I take a session on it. This is an interesting question. You mentioned about stop losses in all these patterns, but how to determine the targets? Again, this is an interesting question. Using Japanese candlestick patterns, the drawback is that you can't decide target based on the pattern. So you need to use other tools in order to arrive at the price targets. What, however, you can determine is the stop loss. But for targets, you need to use other tools. Can we use this pattern on Nifty and Bank Nifty? Yes, very much. They tend to work very well on Nifty and Bank Nifty. The more liquid an instrument is, the stronger do Japanese candlestick patterns, or for that matter, any technical indicator tends to well. So most important thing is liquidity. The more liquid an instrument is, the greater will be the chances of technical patterns working, be it Japanese candlesticks or something else. I guess that's it. Most of the questions are similar to the ones that we have already addressed. So with that, I'll hand over to Shubham now. I think Shubham, we can end the conference. If you, in case you have any more questions, I would be happy to address those. Of course, it's too difficult to address here because of the time constraint. What you could do is you could get in touch with me on my social media platforms, Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever, and I'd be happy to address any queries you have relating to Japanese candlestick patterns. That's it from my end. I think Shubham will end the webinar.
Thanks, Abhishek, for your such an informative session on multiple candlestick patterns. So, guys, you can visit our web page, Fire's Webinar, to track webinar related activities, or you can watch previous or missed webinars over there. That's it from our end. Thank you.
Thank you guys for attending. Have a great weekend.